Snowden received asylum from Latin America, pro-privacy petitions are hitting the government in epic proportions, and FISA courts are A-OK with collecting your information. All that and more this time on ThreatWire. Hello and welcome to ThreatWire. I'm Shannon Morse.
I'm Darren Kitchen, and this is your summary of what's threatening security, privacy, and our beloved internet freedom.
And you're here in the office once again.
Oh, it's good to be back.
It is good to see you. Now, let's go ahead and start it off with the Supreme Court, which is being asked to halt the NSA phone record spy program by the Electronic Privacy Information Center, aka EPIC, which is an awesome name. It's a nonprofit based in DC. Now, their petition argues that there is no way to review the secret court's orders by an alternative court. Now, about a month ago, Verizon confirmed allegations that it was providing the FBI and NSA with recorded phone calls. The secretive Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court ordered Verizon to collect and give this information to the NSA. The Obama administration has been faced with numerous legal challenges, such as this one in the recent months, due to the 2001 provision to the Patriot Act, which we have gone over several times before, allowing broad surveillance and record collection. Now, in the petition by EPIC, which is an awesome name again, they state the ongoing collection of the domestic telephone records of millions of Americans by the NSA, untethered to any particular investigation, is beyond the authority granted by Congress to the FISC under FISA. Now, because of the structure of FISA and the FISC, EPIC can only obtain relief from this court, which is on page 26 of the PDF. Now, EPIC asked the question whether the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court exceeded its narrow statutory authority to authorize foreign intelligence surveillance when it ordered Verizon to disclose records to the National Security Agency for all telephone communications, wholly within the United States, including local telephone calls, which is absolutely nuts. Can you believe that? Now, two other related suits were brought to lower federal courts recently from the ACLU and the chairman of the Judicial Watch. Now, each of these cases, though, have an uphill battle against the federal government, and to each their own, and I hope they get at it.
The FISA courts are just an insane beast.
It is nuts.
It's such that there's no other oversight, and it's only seeing one side of an argument, so it's like,
it's crazy.
Rubber stamping those orders anyway.
Exactly.
Good on you guys. Now, soon, we should mention that in the ongoing legacy of Aaron Swartz is soon going to include his Secret Service dossier, thanks to a U.S. District Judge decision made last Friday. Swartz, the hacker hero and internet activist that hanged himself in January after being bullied by federal prosecutors, soon after his death, Wired editor and former hacker Kevin Poulsen filed a Freedom of Information Act request asking for data compiled by the investigators. The FOIA request was denied due to an exception that covers sensitive law enforcement records integral to an ongoing investigation, though the criminal case had actually been formally dismissed upon his death. In response, Poulsen and David Sobel from the Electronic Frontier Foundation filed a lawsuit with the Department of Homeland Security. Those are guys overseeing the Secret Service, which was the primary agency pursuing Swartz under violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. And the FOIA information, which Poulsen said will be published on Wired.com as they become available, is going to complement Aaron's Law, a bill to reform the antiquated Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, which was only just recently introduced.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that stuff out. Now, after a recent convention in Moscow, I know this is like sort of off topic, but kind of goes along with everything that we talk about. There was a Bolivian president named Evo Morales who was returning to Bolivia when his plane was redirected to Vienna on the suspicions that Edward Snowden was on board. This spurred controversy in many countries, saying that President Morales was abducted during his travels, and the Vienna Convention, which basically states country leaders should not be hindered during travel, that treaty was broken. Now, a few days after this news came, the asylum that Snowden was searching for through several countries, I think there's about 20 of them, Bolivia, Nicaragua, and Venezuela all gave him asylum. Now, Snowden sent out dozens of requests. He withdrew an asylum request from Russia after President Vladimir Putin said that he must stop his work aimed at harming our American partners. Now, the Latin American countries that accepted his request have also denied U.S. extradition requests. I expect over the course of this freedom, The Guardian will continue to release documents pertaining to exposing the United States government's secretive acts against privacy, and of course, we'll continue to report on these as they come in.
All right, now last week we asked you what's at the root of your feelings towards PRISM, be it the spying, the government lies, or is it something else? And our comment of the week comes here from Dara Pirth, who wrote, maybe the feeling of anger about PRISM and the likes has something to do with the feeling that you're not trusted. There's probably more to it, but the fear that they might take you in for a misunderstanding or for nothing at all, or that someone might use you to cover their tracks so that you get the blame for what they did and the government punishing you for it. And then there's the worry that, you know, they would make something illegal that shouldn't be and then suddenly you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head in that it's trust. You know, it's always fear and trust.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask yourself the question, do you fear your government?
Yeah, they made a really good point on that one. I like that comment very much. Now this, of course, brings us to our question this week. I'd like to know, given what we know about programs like PRISM, in an effort to not be tracked, would you consider going to the extreme that, for example, Richard Stallman has and not own a cell phone, given the current rules of the game, game, which you just lost. Now, do you choose to participate? Why or why not? I obviously choose to participate. Now, let us know in the comments below.
So, you know, speaking of the game, which you lost, that's the thing, is if you write the rules, then of course you're going to win the game.
Yep.
On FISA courts. So keep on writing those rules of the game, I guess.
Now remember, you can always find all the ways to subscribe at ThreatWire.org, and make sure to get involved in our Google Plus community. That's where the conversation happens all week.
And with that, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you on the internet.
The internet's
Conversation.
the internet conversation.